taking the Fifth Amendment, like you see on the mob, right? You see the mob takes the Fifth. If you're innocent, why are you taking the Fifth Amendment?
Fifth Amendment, Fifth Amendment, Fifth Amendment. Horrible. Horrible.
I want the Fifth Amendment. I want immunity. The reason they get immunity is because they did something wrong. They didn't do anything wrong. They don't think in terms of immunity. Taking the Fifth Amendment, think of this, over and over. And if you're not guilty of a crime, what do you need immunity for, right?
Taking the Fifth Amendment, the whole thing, it's a mess.
Pled the Fifth. Never, that's the end of him. Ay, ay, ay. He pleaded the Fifth Amendment. Wait, what are we going to do with this guy? What happened? He pleaded the Fifth, right? He pleaded the Fifth. Where is he? This is like a third world country, folks. It's terrible.
So what do you think Trump did today? What do you think? He saw the Fifth and he was like, I want me some of that. I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna plead it. He pleaded the Fifth. That's what he did. Like only the mob does. It's terrible. Only they would do it, except that he, of course, is doing it, which is his constitutional right, admittedly. And as suspicious as it seems, pleading the Fifth does not mean that you're guilty of whatever is being asserted. But that's my position on the Fifth. His position on the Fifth is that it's the most suspicious, guilty thing you can possibly do, and he is jumping into doing it. Yes, he said he will invoke his Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination and not answer questions during a deposition with New York Attorney General Letitia James's office. This comes after they tried to get a New York court, his family did, to invalidate subpoenas for testimony. They didn't want to participate. They eventually lost in that, and now they're, again, not participating. He's being investigated there for financial fraud, violated tax, insurance, and banking laws. And while he is pleading the Fifth now, his two eldest children, Donald Trump Jr. and Ivanka, were deposed last week. We don't know exactly what happened with them. I'm going to assume the Fifth. Like the mob, they pleaded the Fifth. Now, I think at this point, it is inescapable that this is wildly hypocritical. And so he was forced to come out on Truth Social and truth about it, saying, I once asked, if you're innocent, why are you taking the Fifth Amendment? Now I know the answer to that question. When your family, your company, and all the people in your orbit have become the targets of an unfounded, politically motivated witch hunt, supported by lawyers, prosecutors, and the capital F fake news media, you have no choice. If there was any question in my mind, the raid on my home Mar-a-Lago on Monday by the FBI, just 2 days prior to this deposition, wiped out any uncertainty. I have absolutely no choice because the current administration and many prosecutors in this country have lost all moral and ethical bounds of decency, which he holds dear. I will remind you, by the way, he's pleading the Fifth in a totally separate investigation. This is not about the FBI raid. So the FBI raids his house on one of these investigations, so he has to plead the Fifth. He doesn't want to. He has to plead the Fifth on this separate one. And by the way, if he doesn't need to plead the Fifth, presumably he has things he can say in his own defense that might make him appear not guilty. And he's choosing not to do that because his arm was twisted by the FBI in Mar-a-Lago. He's just got to plead the Fifth, JR. It's sad that he's been put in this position.
So he said, what was that statement about how he had once said, if you plead the Fifth, that means you're guilty, and he needs to now clean that up. Who was he talking about? I keep looking up who was he talking about in that particular situation that was pleading the Fifth, and then they must, of course, immediately be guilty. And he says, because when people come and target after your family, your friends, your background, your associates, and your whole life on a witch hunt, that's when you plead the Fifth.
Yep.
So according to that logic, whoever it was that he was talking about, which probably was a political enemy, that means that the authorities were coming after their life, their family, their background, their situation completely. When people flip their ridiculous declarative points like this, you have to take all of it with them. So then you have to ask the next question. So was the whole circumstance that you were complaining about from someone pleading the Fifth, was that all a witch hunt too? Because you just said, now that you're pleading the Fifth, anytime people do that, you've discovered it's because there's a witch hunt going on. Are all these witch hunts? Are all of them witch hunts?
No, JR, that's the problem. With all these mobsters and everyone else who pleaded the fifth, they didn't come out and say, it's a witch hunt, it's a hoax. If only they had done that, then they would have been totally okay to plead the fifth. All you have to do is shriek that literally every investigation, no matter by who, at what level, in what state, all of it's a hoax, and then you don't have to cooperate with literally any of it. And by the way, we have to assume, based on his statement, that if the FBI had not raided Mar-a-Lago Monday morning, then he totally would have participated, and he would have been forthright and forthcoming and giving tons of information. He would have been an active, enthusiastic participant in this investigation. Against his will, he's being forced to not participate.
John, you read my mind, bro. You read my mind. I wrote it down because I wanted to say it. Supporters even said that authorities could have asked Trump to cooperate. They're saying this. They're saying this right on the day that it all happened. But then they just decided not to. They could have asked Trump to cooperate and give up all these things that he was hiding, that he destroys, that's on record knowing he destroys these things. But if they'd have just asked him, he would have cooperated. Hey, they're asking him through subpoenas already. Guess who's not cooperating? Anyone surrounded by Trump. Oh yeah, so someone robs a bank, shoots the security guard, and takes off on the run and leaves the state. They catch up to him 2 states later and a week afterwards, and he goes, bro, if you'd have just called me and asked me to come by the police station, I'd have been there. All I was doing was running. It's been shown that you're looking to get away from the crime, and then when they come and get you for it or investigate you for it, you complain that you would have just walked in if they would have asked nicely. Get out of here, nobody believes that.
Yeah, no, I wanted to come in peacefully, but you were chasing me, and I was so aggrieved by that. Your chase was a hoax, sir. Chasing, can't participate.
Last I heard, if you cooperate with the police, they won't do anything to you. I mean, even just a normal traffic stop, just comply and everything will be okay.
Comply. Donald Trump, just comply. It's so ridiculous. Anyway, look, if they had been warriors for a form of law enforcement this whole time, think about how much stronger their position would be now. No, they loved it. Back the blue until the blue is behind you. Anyway,
then you back into the blue.
Exactly. Oh geez. For more political news, breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.